Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
This is the GBN Television News for Wednesday, April the 20th, 2022. I'm Stasia Blake. In the headlines, Ministry of Health notes increase in positive COVID-19 cases 2 weeks after most restrictions are lifted. Final consultation on decriminalization of cannabis carded for Friday. Chief Education Officer calls for parental support for students preparing to sit exams in the coming weeks. And then around the globe, regionally deadly flood in Jamaica following unexpected heavy rains. And in international news, Ukrainian official warns that his forces are facing last days, if not hours. Coming up in sports, Grenadian para-athletes participating in a pre-Commonwealth Games camp in England, and Kieron Pollard retires from international cricket. Details right after this message.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Welcome back. This is GBN's News at 7. 2 weeks after most of the country's COVID-19 restrictions were lifted, local health authorities are reporting a gradual increase in new cases being recorded as Grenadians and the rest of the world begin to participate in more social activities. Rena Pierre-Thomas has tonight's top story.
Grenada recorded 38 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday, bringing the number of active cases to 218. 5 individuals are presently hospitalized with the virus, while the death toll since March 2020 remains at 219. According to officials from the Ministry of Health, while the numbers are not growing rapidly compared to prior months, it is rising gradually. The country has recorded 14,287 confirmed cases and 13,850 recoveries since the initial outbreak of the COVID-19 virus 2 years ago. The Ministry of Health has gathered data from the first 19 days of the past 3 months to get an understanding of how the country has been doing with COVID-19. Chief Medical Officer Sean Charles explains.
The average daily reported new confirmed cases in February was 54.1. In March, it went down to 7.6, and in April, it went back. It increased somewhat to 14.3 cases daily. So this is just for the first 19 days of these 3 months. In April, we have noticed that the trend is towards a gradual increase in the proportion of positive cases.
Dr. Charles reminds Grenadians to continue to wear their mask and other personal protective protocols, despite the removal of mandated regulations by the government. He tells the public that this is not a time to be laid back and relaxed, as the virus is very much alive.
We want the Grenadian public in particular to be aware that cases locally will increase as a result of low adherence to the public health preventive measures and the increase in the number of social interactions that are presently occurring. Now, the mandate was removed, meaning that by law, you do not need to do it, or you do not have to do it, or you will not be penalized for not doing it. It does not mean that you have to abandon it, because it is important that you practice these prevention measures to protect your own self.
So far, Grenada has administered 87,656 doses of vaccine, with 33% of the total population fully vaccinated and 4.6% partially vaccinated. And while there is still a high level of vaccine hesitancy on the island, Dr. Charles said that they have only recently accepted a donation of the Sinopharm vaccines from the Republic of China as another option for Grenadians.
Yesterday, we took delivery of, I believe, 20,000 doses of Sinopharm vaccines. Sinopharm vaccine is a vaccine that is produced in China, and it was as a donation from the People's Republic of China.
The Grenadian population is encouraged to get vaccinated. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Based on the challenges and limitations to the available acreage of property in Grenada, land use policy has finally reached the stage that comes before being transformed into legislation. Gerard Joseph has the details.
As the government of Grenada moves to bring forward a bill which will give legislative powers to a land use policy for Grenada, the question of what possible measures to prosecute individuals and entities who have misused or damaged lands and mangroves was put forward to the Minister. Minister for Agriculture Peter David had this response when pressed by the media.
And I'm sure there are penalties with respect to physical planning. The physical planning law does provide for penalties for persons who violate physical planning law. So yes, there are consequences for persons who violate, and we hope to add more consequences as we go forward to try to manage properly and manage better our land. But there are consequences now, and there will be consequences in the future.
According to the minister, there are only 78 to 80,000 acres of land available in Grenada to be used for agriculture, housing, recreation, forestry, and commercial activities. Noting the huge demand for land and its limitations, Minister David, who is also responsible for lands, forestry, and labor, says the land use policy is finally nearing completion.
That has been something that has been called for years, a land use policy, because, much of our agricultural land was transferred to housing. And while we understand the need for housing, we must also understand there's a need to feed our population. There's a need to reduce our food import bill. And the only way to do that is to properly plan the use of our land, to ensure that there's enough land to grow food for our people and enough land to ensure that housing is available for our people, that commercial activities take place, that manufacturing take place.
Chief Agricultural Officer Trevor Thompson, who was a focal person in drafting the policy, says legislation is being prepared to support the mandates under the land use policy.
Once it's going to have an impact on other people, then you'll have to institute certain management regimes that will either determine if that land could be used for that purpose or not. And then the whole issue of land that will be allocated for special purposes, protected areas, recreation areas, for forest reserve, to preserve drinking water, etc. All of those has to be taken into consideration. And of course, the overarching issue of land for present and future generations.
Thompson adds that a legal expert has been contracted to assist with the legislation that will accompany the policy, noting the challenges faced by lawyers surrounding land issues and disputes. I am Gerard Joseph For GBN News.
The new school term started with all students back in the classroom in January after a lengthy staggered approach to teaching and learning due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now it's preparation time for examinations, some of which have already started.
It is that time of the year when students in exit grades prepare for their examinations. Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Angela Finley, on Wednesday reminded parents and students of the exam dates to keep in mind.
Both the CSEC and the CAPE examinations are set to commence on the 2nd May. That's the theoretical exams. For some of the practical subjects, the assessments have already begun. Such as the physical education practicals, and that's on stream, that's going on this week, and other assessments for the practical subjects like food and nutrition and health, home management. They have already started, but the theoretical work assessments begin on the 2nd of May. For CSEC, it's due to end on the 3rd of June, and for CAPE, the 10th of June.
The dates for the Caribbean Certificate of Secondary Level Competence, CCSLC assessments for Form 3 students and Minimum Competency Test, the MCT, for primary level students were also provided.
Then we have the CCSLC exams, that's the Minimum Competency Assessment, which is a regional assessment for students at the Form 3 level. That begins on the 6th of June, Monday, 6th June, and should end on Thursday, the 9th of June. And then on Wednesday, the 8th of June, we will have our MCTs for the primary school, that's grades 2, 4, and 5.
Mrs. Finley explained the importance of students attending the CCLSC and the MCT assessments. She said these exams will give the ministry an indication of the extent of learning taking into account recent disruptions. Parents and guardians are being urged to encourage their children in preparation for these assessments. Cherry and Blackman, Stephen, GBN News.
Consultations on the decriminalization of cannabis are nearing completion, with reviews to go before Cabinet within the coming days. That's according to Minister of Agriculture, Peter David, who provided the latest update on Wednesday. We get the details in this Gerard Joseph report.
The final round of consultations on the decriminalization of cannabis is due on Friday, following the pending responses to be presented to Cabinet, then Parliament for second reading. Minister of Agriculture Peter David says despite the 90-day period for consultation with the public and other stakeholders having elapsed since the Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Amendment Bill had its first reading, the process is not yet over.
Some people have heard the public response. I think one gentleman said in his response the other day he doesn't want 10 trees, he wants 100 trees. Well, some people say there are different responses to the legislation. I must say, though, that we've not received any very negative responses on it, which points in a particular direction. So I'm going to go back to Cabinet next week, indicate to Cabinet what the results are of this consultation that we've had.
Minister David says invitations to various stakeholders were sent out to engage in consultations or responses on the decriminalization of marijuana.
And we did have a roundtable some time ago with some other stakeholders. So we have a pretty good picture now as to where our society is on this. So I think the next step is for Parliament to just have the second reading where we will deal with the matter there, finalize it there, and then it moves to the Senate. And then all of the stakeholders in it, the police, everybody put their mechanisms in place in order to move in the direction that I suspect the consultation is heading up.
He adds that together with the Minister of Health and the Attorney General, the Ministry of Agriculture will compile the data received after the final consultation on Friday.
And I just want to say to the public, we are still open to recommendations from you. Those who did not respond, I'm assuming as I sit here, that is because you have no difficulty. If you do have a difficulty, please, the Ministry of Agriculture is open. Please let us know what your difficulty is, so if we at least we take it into account when we report to Cabinet next week.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
This This is news at 7. Coming up, Grenadian student asking for financial assistance to pursue bachelor's degree in the performing art and creative arts. Stay with us.
Monday, May 2nd, the holiday. Mangazo takes opulence to a different level as we invite you to our food festival. 11 in the morning until delicious, sumptuous, and visually appealing food, vegan food, seafood, oil down, cakes and pastries, wild meat, curry, sauce, and lots more. And look out for cultural performances, steel pan, and more. For more info, call 538-0358 or 405 Gazo. That's 4296. Monday, May 2nd, the holiday. Mangazo Food Festival. Sponsored by Independence Agencies Limited. Agent Force Swiss. It's better because of Swiss.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pockets every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Angie, don't you know that you should not fly kites near electrical poles and wires? You should only fly it in open areas. If the kite gets stuck, it can cause power outages throughout the village.
Then I'll just pull it down, Johnny. Simple?
No, you shouldn't do that. You can get shocked. You should call Grenlec at 237 and they will come and help.
Alright.
Never fly kites near the power lines. If your kite ever gets tangled, do not attempt to remove it on your own. A message from Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
My name is Dominic Lawrence. I'm a police officer by profession, and I've been a member of Ariza now for about 20 years or less. I chose to join Ariza because I've been hearing some good stuff about them. My sister was a member before me. She told me about her good experience that she had with Ariza. What I like most about Ariza is the way they treat you as a member. They take good care of you. They help you in very, very good ways. They have some good products in place to help you. I've been able to budget a lot better because of the products and things that they have in place to help us as members. I love it when you call Ariza and the way they would answer the phone. Ariza, how can we make you smile? I would like to take this time now to congratulate Ariza on the 75 years of service to the people of Grenada.
Here is a little known fact. There is only one place in Grenada that you can get an MRI scan done. That place is Stasia Imaging Center. Yes, Grenada, that's the truth. Other centers could offer you other scans, but Stasia Imaging provides an authentic MRI scan. Here's another little known fact. Stasia Imaging has 3 centers. We operate at Grenville, the Carnage, and at the Ocean House, Grandlands. We provide the widest range of laboratory tests and services. CT scans, x-rays, mammograms, ultrasounds, and a host of other services. We are fully staffed by a team of family doctors and specialists. Call us today at 444-7679.
or 406-1500, or visit any of our 3 locations. Spice and Imaging, from seeing the doctor to getting lab tests, scans, and pharmacy services. We are here to take care of you.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
With Grenada's next general election due next year, most eyes and ears of nationals near and far are tuning into the major elections players to hear their plans for the development of the country. With that in mind, the Grenada Broadcasting Network is into its 3rd week of one of its latest programs called Election Watch. The program provides a platform for members of the public to hear and understand the issues that affect the country and its people. Host of the program is Joseph Kador.
Well, join us this evening in Grenada for another episode of Election Watch. Joining us this evening, out of the diaspora, is a son of the soil, and he's put himself up for candidacy representing the northeast constituency of St. Andrew, the man Denison George. He certainly has plans, which he says, to take Grenada into the 21st century. And certainly we'll be hearing from him. What are his plans? What are his takes as to how we move Grenada forward? Also part of the conversation this evening is a former chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Vincent Roberts, and certainly the National Democratic Congress is making an appeal to the general populace, and he's going to be forwarding their cause as we deal with the bread and butter issues, the issues that has come to affect our lives, my life, your life. That conversation comes up this evening on Election Watch at 8:30. Join me.
Election Watch will be broadcast every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on GBN TV as well as social media platforms. You are about to hear the story of a young man who found his first love in the field of performing arts and is the first Grenadian to be accepted into the Columbia College of Chicago. As he prepares for his journey, he's seeking the public's help as he faces financial challenges in pursuing his dreams. More in this Rena Pierre Thomas report.
28-year-old Alistair Amada, a graduate of the T.A. Marisho Community College, is seeking the public's help to pursue his dream of obtaining his bachelor's degree in the performing and creative arts. For the last 6 years, Amada has fully dedicated his life to the performing and creative arts, which he said has transformed his life. His journey began at Grenada's Acting and Film School, where he found his purpose and vision for his life. In wanting more out of the arts, he left acting school to pursue his studies at the T.A. Marisho Community College, where he studied both literature and psychology. Now, Alistair is the first Grenadian to be accepted into the Columbia College Chicago University. He said he has already obtained a quarter of a scholarship that covers tuition for the institution and has started the process with the government, hoping to secure housing and tuition funding. However, Alistair still needs money to embark on his new journey.
I am asking for assistance in the area of funding for tuition and housing to go to Columbia College, Chicago. I have currently started the process with the government. However, the response we negotiating at the time, but the response is not definitive. But I'm currently pleading with the government for they to cover at least half or the rest of the balance for tuition and a portion for housing, and for the private sector to assist with the process as well.
Amadi's fire for the performing arts has led him into national and international arenas, such as his participation in TAMCC's Best Talent Competition, Ministry of Youth Tall Speech Festival, and in 2020 founded Team Lyrical, and has written more than 100 poems. He aims to change the way theatre is seen in Grenada by furthering his studies to transform the sector when he returns home. He said he is willing to share his plans with anyone willing to listen.
Some of the screenplays and ideas I have, it can literally, revolutionize and transform the arts within Grenada. So it's not just Alista's dream to go and study theatre at Columbia College. Long term is not for me alone, but at the end of the day, it's coming back to build and transform Grenada. Hence, I have my own theatre company.
Alistair needs to leave for his studies in late July to start his classes. Anyone willing to contribute to his endeavors can contact him on his telephone number 414-7032. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
From this Saturday, PAHO, together with Grenada and other countries and territories of the region of the Americas, will celebrate the 20th Annual Vaccination Week and the 11th World Immunization Week. Rena Pierre-Thomas shares local activities planned for the week celebration.
World Vaccination Week in the Americas is celebrated in the last week of April and aims to highlight the collective action needed and to promote the use of vaccines to protect people of all ages against diseases. This year's campaign comes at an especially critical time as the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted essential health services, including routine immunization, setting back progress by more than a decade. World Vaccination or Immunization Week will be celebrated from April 23rd to the 30th in Grenada under the theme, Are You Vaccinated? Get All Your Shots. Audrey Lyons, manager of the expanded program on immunization in the Ministry of Health, outlined some activities planned for the event this year.
In Grenada, we have seen a decline in the number of children being vaccinated against childhood diseases, and more so after the pandemic. Of course, many countries around the world has expressed similar sentiments. In Grenada, we have a very robust community nursing department where childhood clinic is conducted at least once per week in all of the health facilities around the island, and of course in some of our private physicians' clinic.
Several community activities are also planned to educate the nation on vaccination. She also spoke of the importance of vaccination not just for COVID-19 but against other diseases.
So on Saturday 23rd, we'll have the opening speech done by our Minister of Health, Honorable Nicholas Steele. On Saturday also, we planned a motorcade and an expo, a health expo. The health expo will be at Camahan Park, and it runs from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Our motorcade will start at the ministerial complex right here at 9 o'clock, and will be going down to the south of the island.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Now let's turn our attention to what's been creating a buzz on social media and hear what some of you have been saying about things that pique your interest.
GBN Social Buzz is reaching beyond the local platform to share with you what's trending on social media. We browse the World Wide Web and bring to you the topics inciting the most reaction and debate among users.
Tonight's Social Buzz features a story from GBN's News on Tuesday about a knife-wielding visitor who threatened a bartender in Carriacou. The Royal Grenada Police Force says it is investigating the circumstance that surrounded the situation.
In relation to a video as well that
that we saw in circulation of an assault that occurred in a business establishment in Karakou. We are presently investigating that matter as well, and once an update is available, it will be made accessible to members of the public.
Many viewers took to the comment section to voice their concerns. Many pitched the race card in the mix as they shared their sentiments on what they believe should have or could have happened. Kadnisha said, "I tied with these privileged people." Federon says, "If was me, a local, would try that with the bartender. You know he busted my nose with a punch." Queen says, "If was the other way around, the black man would have been in jail." Peter says, "Let the police do their job and stop bringing race into it. The locals do the same. Why you people don't say anything?" Kerry says, "Shocking. He sounds South African. Hope he's arrested, locked up and banned from the Caribbean. That here is a crime." D says, "Should have been given his money back and escorted out the door." And finally, Belfon says, "I don't know what's there to investigate again now. You already have the story as to what or why the man assaulted them people. You have full evidence of it. So what's taking you long to make the arrest? Because he white?"
That's what's buzzing tonight. We encourage you, our viewers and listeners, to submit your think pieces on trending topics locally, regionally, and internationally via our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
And still ahead, youth parliamentarians to be officially recognized on Thursday. This is News at 7.
Welcome to Nurses Care, a new home healthcare company on Ireland, changing the way you receive healthcare. From registered nurses and aides to medical doctors and qualified physicians, we offer a wide range of healthcare services, from monitoring chronic conditions and medications to elderly care, pediatric care, and maternity nurses, to even housekeeping and case management. We offer 24/7 in-house healthcare services. So contact us today for your in-house consultation at 439-3928.
During these times, we are facing the same obstacles, changes, and no rules to get through it. We had to find the power from within, pushing limits and conquering every training session to ignite our minds and give our muscles the fuel they need. Powerade Advanced Iron 4 formula with its flavors Mountain Blast, Fruit Punch, and Jagged Ice gives you fast hydration after sweating because of its 4 electrolytes to go the extra mile. Powerade, feel the power.
Your vehicle insurance should never break your bank. With Beacon, you can get up to 35% off your fully comprehensive car insurance and still get full protection from unexpected damages with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. When it comes to your insurance, always be sure you settle for more. Call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt and get a quote today.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, Because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
The Nawasa app brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. Mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pockets every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Welcome back. Following 1 year of training and parliamentary sittings, youth parliamentarians will be officially recognized on Thursday. We hear more in this Rena Pierre-Thomas report.
On Thursday, youth parliamentarians who served on the parish and national levels will be awarded for their contributions and exemplary performances delivered at the seatings. The award ceremony and dinner will be held at the Grenada Youth and Cultural Center. The Youth Parliament serves as a mechanism to involve youth in debating the present situation faced by young people and, by extension, the country. The National and Parish Youth Parliament is a national discussion platform provided by the Division of Youth Development to encourage young people to become vocal through active debates. Meanwhile, the Division of Youth Development is appealing to people interested in acquiring skills and knowledge about parliamentary procedures and other aspects of Grenada's democratic system to answer the call and become part of the national and parish youth debates. For GBN News, I am Rena Pierre-Thomas reporting.
And now let's take a peek through the GBN EyeSaw lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN EyeSaw is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
The creativity featured in tonight's EyeSaw is unmatched. Since the ban on plastic, how convenient have reusable shopping bags been? One woman has given a new meaning to the word reusable, as she uses the bags for much more than just shopping. Our citizen journalist submitted photos of the creative work of her aunt, who creates floral arrangements from shopping bags. Creative, isn't it? Tell us what you think when you send your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Stay with us. The weather is up next and in sports.
we support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
If there was ever a time to keep and stay healthy, it's now! We at Hills and Valley are here to help you take deliberate steps to maintain your health. We stayed true to maintaining the most comprehensive rates while stocking the widest range of medicines and health devices, including personal protective equipment. There are so many benefits shopping with us. You get great savings through discounts for senior citizens and reward cards for loyal customers. Ask about owning yours today. Visit us at Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George, Jubilee Street opposite the Grenville Bus Terminal, and at Hillsborough, Carriacou. Our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street also stocks the widest range of pharmaceuticals. We are with you on the hills and in the valleys. We are Hills and Valley Pharmacy.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
Looking at tonight's weather, it's expected to be mostly fair with a few light early morning showers. We'll see a minimum of 24 degrees this evening with winds northeasterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Waves at sea will be 4 to 6 feet. There is a small craft advisory in effect. Tide will be at 8:59 p.m. and high tide will be at 5:01. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast, Thursday we'll see sunrise at 5:53 and sunset at 6:20. We'll expect a few light early morning showers and it will be fair and partly cloudy. On Friday we'll see sunrise at 5:53 and sunset at 6:20. We're expecting fair to partly cloudy weather. And on Saturday we'll see sunrise at 5:52 and sunset at 6:20. We're expecting generally fair weather. And that's our weather forecast. Grenada's leading para-athletes and a coach are in England participating in a 10-day pre-Commonwealth Games camp, which started on Monday and runs until Sunday. They are javelin and shot put competitors Ishana Charles and Shondell Ferreira, along with coach Joshua Joel John. The three are among over 100 athletes and coaches from 21 Commonwealth nations attending practical and theoretical sessions. The program is being hosted by the University of Birmingham, entitled Together as Equals GAPS program. The synonym GAPS communicates gather, adjust, prepare, and sustain. The program covers 3 sports, track and field, table tennis, and powerlifting, and is geared to contribute to the para-athletes and coaches' preparations for this year's Commonwealth Games in Birmingham from July 26th to August the 8th. The Grenadian athletes Ishana Charles and Shondell Ferreira will also have the opportunity to participate in the Coventry Spring Meet on Saturday and Sunday. Meanwhile, Zachary Gresham secured Grenada's first medal at the CRIFTA Swimming Championships at the Aquatic Center in Barbados. Gresham qualified for the final on Tuesday morning. He placed third with a time of 2 minutes, 17.35 seconds in the boys' 15 to 17 200-meter backstroke preliminaries. In the final, he again clinched the third spot, improving his time to 2 minutes, 17.10 seconds, and earning Grenada its first CRIFTA swimming medal. Moving to cricket, West Indies limited overs captain Kieran Pollard has retired from international cricket by announcing his decision on social media. Here's an excerpt from his retirement video on Instagram.
Hi all. After careful deliberation, I have today decided to retire from international cricket. As is the case of many young persons, it was a dream of mine to represent the West Indies team from the time I was a boy of 10 years, and I'm proud to have represented West Indies cricket for over 15 years in both the T20 and ODI forms of the game. I can still vividly remember making my international debut in 2007 under the leadership of my childhood hero, the great Brian Lara. Wearing those maroon colors and playing alongside such greats has been a privilege that I've never took lightly, giving my heart and soul in every facet of the game.
And finally, in football, Queen's Park Rangers will be gunning for the championship title after securing their spot in the Sandals Under-15 tournament final for the 3rd consecutive time. In the final, scheduled for Friday at the Cranny James Athletic Stadium at 5 p.m., Rangers will face former title holders Paradise FC International for the 2nd time in the competition's history. Last year's champs were St. John's Sports. In the consolation final, League B, scheduled for 3 p.m. on Friday, St. David's FC will come up against RGPF St. Forces. In the 3rd place playoff scheduled for League A, SCFL will play Hurricanes SC at Victoria Park, and in League B, Hard Rock will come up against Mount Rich SC at Fond. Both matches are at 4:30 p.m. And that's the end of sports. The search continued today for a 68-year-old woman who was swept away by floodwaters on Tuesday that claimed the life of her 12-year-old granddaughter. The tragedy occurred after the Meteorological Service of Jamaica reported that there is a trough across Jamaica and the Central Caribbean that is expected to remain in the region over the next several days.
The body of 12-year-old Janelle Walters has been recovered about 1.5 miles from where she was washed away by raging floodwaters in Montego Bay on Tuesday afternoon. Reporters saw the body of the young girl dressed in clothes her family said she was wearing at the time she was swept away. Janelle and her 68-year-old grandmother, Beryl Walters, were among occupants of a motor vehicle that was swept away by the raging waters following heavy rain. Further reports are that the family patriarch and a 25-year-old woman, believed to be his daughter, who were also traveling in the car when the incident occurred, were rescued by men who fixed tires nearby. Flash flood warning in effect for some parishes. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, has issued a flash flood warning for Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, and St. James as a throw-off over the island dumped heavy rains on Tuesday afternoon. In the meantime, a flash flood watch is in effect for all parishes.
Of the water. But it's not normal, never come out with my phone. God, it's not normal, never catch spam video. This is insanity.
At the Westgate right now. I don't know normal. See there, I don't know normal. See there, watch it. Watch it, I don't know normal. See there, vehicle, rain. Watch it. See there, people stuck in a car.
A warning has been issued for small craft operators, including fishermen.
Russia says the phase of what it calls the mission to liberate the east of Ukraine is underway. Earlier today, Russia gave Ukrainian fighters still holding out in Mariupol a fresh ultimatum to surrender as it pushed for a decisive victory in its new eastern offensive. Here's France 24 with the details.
The Azovstal steel plant in the port city of Mariupol. Under constant assault from Russian forces, it is the last pocket of Ukrainian resistance in the city. For days, Ukrainian fighters have been holed up here, and according to authorities, so have 1,000 civilians sheltering underneath the factory. Short on food, the soldiers took to social media to launch a plea for help.
We are probably facing our last days, if not ours. The enemy outnumbers us 10 to 1.
The Ukrainian president says his request to Russia for an evacuation has so far been ignored.
Unfortunately, we've had no response from Russia to our exchange offer, which could save the civilians and defenders of Mariupol.
Russia has stepped up its attacks across the eastern front in its sights, cities like Sloviansk and Kramatorsk. With this offensive, Russia claims to have entered a new phase of the war.
The Russian army is carrying out the task set by the head of the army for the special military operation. As a result, the plan to liberate the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics is being implemented, as well as measures to restore peace.
Russia continued to launch assaults on the other besieged cities. In Kharkiv, at least 4 people were killed on Tuesday in shelling of residential areas.
The International Monetary Fund slashed its forecast for global economic growth by nearly a full percentage point, citing Russia's war in Ukraine, and warned inflation was now a clear and present danger for many countries. The details in this Al Jazeera report.
The IMF's projections for the world economy have worsened significantly since its last report in January, when it predicted a post-pandemic recovery. The reason is clear.
Global economic prospects have been severely set back, largely because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This crisis unfolds as the global economy has not yet fully recovered from the pandemic.
From an estimated 6.1% in 2021, the IMF now says economic growth will shrink to 3.6% in 2022 and 2023. The fund says that inflation, already surging due to the pandemic, will be amplified due to war-related supply shortages. And its World Economic Outlook says increases in food and fuel prices could lead to social unrest. However, the IMF also said inflation for advanced economies may fall to 2.5% next year. Some economists say that should mean a change in course to prevent a devastating global recession. But such is the uncertainty about the war in Ukraine, further energy sanctions on Russia, future deadly COVID variants, and more supply bottlenecks in China, the IMF says its latest predictions may be too optimistic. To coincide with the IMF spring meetings, Oxfam has released a study predicting that the pandemic and the war in Ukraine could push more than 263 million people into extreme poverty in 2022. The charity is calling on the IMF to stop increasing hardship due to its insistence on conditioning loans to the developing world on implementing austerity policies, while it warns rich nations to avoid cutting spending to preserve what economic recovery there is.
That's it for what's happening around the globe. We'll be right back. Now for a recap of the night's headlines. Ministry of Health notes increase in positive COVID-19 cases 2 weeks after most restrictions are lifted. Government close to finalizing land use policy legislation. Chief Education Officer calls for parental support for students preparing to sit exams in the coming weeks. Final consultation on the decriminalization of cannabis carded for Friday. And in around the globe, regionally, deadly flood in Jamaica following unexpected heavy rains. And in international news, Ukrainian official warns that his forces are facing last days, if not hours. In sports, Grenadian para-athletes participating in a pre-Commonwealth Games camp in England, and West Indies limited overs captain Kieran Pollard retires from international cricket. And that's it for GBN News for Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at gbn.gd or on GBN Television's Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Stasia Blake. From all of us here at GBN, we wish you a very pleasant evening.